All right, we're here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, with PFL's JJ Wilson, aka the Maori Kid. He's about to fight in the semifinals of the lightweight tournament.
Soon to be champion.
Soon to be champion.
And rich.
So we're
and rich.
Oh man, Ricky's a little this is yeah, no, you're right. He's been having some soda. So we're at Rocco's Tacos in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. JJ, you want to tell us why we're here?
So Rocco's Tacos, the owner of Rocco, his name's Rocco, and he's like family to me, you know. We both had the same godfather, Mike Cipriani, and I wanted to come here to showcase what he's built, you know.
And for those who aren't familiar, Rocco's Tacos is like a staple in Fort Lauderdale. Like if you bring anyone here, Las Olas is the place to go, and Rocco's is the place to go in Las Olas. So this is a big one.
Any Floridians watching this video, I'm pretty sure you guys been here.
100%.
Yeah. And by the way, thank you, Larry, and thank you, Rocco, for being great hosts.
Can agree with that.
Cheers.
Soda toast. JJ's definitely not drinking before his fight.
Definitely not.
All right, I'm going to start this off.
What you got?
All right, JJ, fun fact. Think about all the money you've made and think about how much time you spent in the cage. How long do you think you spent in the cage?
Personally, I think I spent like 2 hours in the cage.
All right. You're pretty far from your total time.
For 2 hours?
You guys spent a total of 31 minutes and 30 seconds in all your fights, including the 3 decisions.
That's crazy. 31 minutes. All the money I made, I got a huge hourly rate. Can I fight more? Because, oh my God.
That's good. I wish I made that.
One day, dude. One day.
Can I have more fights? You know, like, damn, that's crazy. 38 minutes.
Not bad at all.
I think I had 2 decisions.
Yeah, and then the robbery that happened.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that back. My next fight is the rematch, so I get to get that one back.
Yeah, let's talk about that, man. Like usually we go all the way back to the roots. We finish on the current events, but let's just start with the current events. You're entering the semifinals of the lightweight tournament in PFL. You're having a revenge match. Having watched that first fight, what are your feelings on like the weighing of takedowns in MMA? Like, do you feel like it's too heavy?
Well, back then, the rules have changed just a little bit, and the judging has changed a little bit from when that fight happened.
Yeah, PFL did have like a weird score system at one point, right?
Yeah, the last year they did like, if you won the fight in the first round, you got a certain amount of points.
Right.
And then
after
like 3 fights, for you to go to the playoffs, you had to, it was whoever had the most points.
Right.
So there was guys who won both their fights and they didn't make the playoffs because the guy got like a first round finish. After you guys had the same points, it goes to who spent less time in the cage. So if you got a first round knockout, you'll get 6 points. And then if you had if you went the distance and you won, you get 3 points. So guys went 2 distance, then it got 6 points, and then a guy got a first round knockout, lost the second fight, and then he gets to go. So that's kind of like how the structure was last year. Where this year it's just you win, you go home. Oh, you win, you go to the next round, you lose, you go home. Which I think should be. You know?
It should be. I like incentivizing excitement and incentivizing finishes, but like, yeah, that's crazy. How can you win 2 fights and go home?
But, you know, in the final round, you saw some guys go out there and try to knock each other out. But then the problem was the second and third round, they were just like slugging. You know, they had no energy left.
But so that aside, like in your fight against, how do you pronounce his name? Rabadanov?
Yeah,
Rabadanov, right?
Gadzi? Rabadanov.
Yeah. So the first round, you dominated, right? Second round, it felt like you dominated again, but you got taken down. And I'm going to ask you more about your jiu-jitsu in a few minutes, but like, dude, your ground game is crazy. Like, I don't feel like you're worried about getting taken down at all. Like, you had the man's arm wrapped up, everything was good. Like, do you feel like judging based on the takedown is unfair?
So back when we fought like 4 years ago,
right.
3, 4 years ago. It was a very long time ago. And the judging was more about who's on top. Where now the judging has kind of changed, right? You got to realize at the end of the day, it's a sport. It's not a fight. I go in there like I'm a fighter. I go in there and I fight and I treat it like a fight.
Let me finish this, right? Yeah.
These guys come in here like I'm an athlete and I'm trying to win this game, right? So I'm going in there. I'm trying to hurt them all means necessary. I don't care where we are. I'm just trying to inflict damage. I'm trying to hurt the guy as bad as I can, whether I'm on my back or whether I'm on top or wherever I am. So if you watch the fight back, when I'm on my back, I'm doing damage, you know what I mean? But he's on top. He's just holding me. And back then, they rated that higher. Now they're incentivizing damage. So if I'm on the back and I cut him and I hurt him and I'm hurting him, I'm winning the fight.
Yeah.
Right? If he's just holding and he's not showing initiative to advance the position, he's actually losing the fight.
Right.
Because he's just holding on. He's not trying to fight. So now they've been changing the judging. So it favors the guy who's actively trying to fight.
Oh, that's good.
Right? So that rule change has been, you can see in the judging now that like guys off their back are winning because they're inflicting damage. Granted, you don't want to be on the bottom, but now the judging has kind of changed from when that fight has happened.
So like in that fight, like dude, even when he had you down, you were threatening an arm bar, you were threatening a triangle, like you were the aggressor. So you feel like are you changing the game plan at all?
So when I fought him, I wasn't even training MMA. You know what I mean? I would do pads 2 times a week and I would train jiu-jitsu every day.
You're kidding me.
That was all I did. I would hit pad. I wouldn't even spar. I would do two times a week pads.
Oh my God.
Jiu-jitsu and wrestling. That's it. That's all I did.
That's it. You're good. All right.
So, and then, that was all I did all the way up to that fight. I wasn't training MMA. I had no MMA partners. You know what I mean? So it was all jiu-jitsu. I was training with pure jiu-jitsu guys, pure wrestling guys, and then hitting mitts. That was my...
So where did your striking come from, man? Because there was a couple things I noticed there. Like, I don't know if you do it on purpose, but you familiar with Michael Jai White, the actor?
Yes.
So he does a lot of karate stuff, and there's a lot of speculation whether he would have been a good MMA fighter or not. But he was showing John Jones and some guys some moves where he would use the lead leg, right? Like you do like a lot of karate stuff, weirdly enough.
So before I went to MMA, I had like 12 kickboxing fights, Muay Thai fights.
Yeah.
I had a few full Thai rule fights. I come from a Thai background. And all of these are like kind of off record. You know what I mean? Because New Zealand, we don't track it. You know, you got to realize back in New Zealand, they were calling me the day before, hey, you want to fight tomorrow? You know, I'm at Pizza Hut eating pizza and they call me and they're like, hey, you want to fight tomorrow? I'm like, yeah, I'll fight. And then they're like, oh, don't worry. The guy's a little bit heavier than you, but not too much. You know, and I'm like, how heavy? It's just a couple kilos because we use kilos.
Kill another pizza real quick.
Like 4 or 5 pounds. I'm like, that's okay. I'm eating pizza. You know what I mean? I'm probably heavy too. And I was like, do you want me to come weights? He's like, no. Don't worry. Don't come weights. I said, okay, you know. Next day I show up on the co-main event. I'm like, oh man, what the hell's going on? You know, this is pretty cool. You know, they gave me like 8 free tickets. That's what I got paid to fight. Mm-hmm. And I was happy because like all my family's poor, you know, so I could give all my family seats.
Right.
You know, like 8 seats. And then I'm like, who am I fighting? I see his name. I'm warming up. I'm like, looking. I was like, man, I just go to my coach. He's like, you know who I'm fighting? He's like, I don't know. You know, I'm like, okay. So I'm hitting pads. And then I get in the ring. There's kickboxing. I get in the ring. I had a really big fight in like 2 weeks. So I got in the ring. I'm like, okay, this is, and it's like a staircase, right? So you come, when they call you out, you come out of the staircase, you get in the cage. So they call me out. I'm in the staircase. Come out, get in the ring. I still don't know who I'm fighting. I'm like shadow boxing and, you know, Thai boxers, they do all this like dancing and stuff. I don't. I just like bow, whatever, go to my corner, watch them do their dance and then beat them, you know. And then he comes out. I'm like, holy, this guy is huge. He's like this big Samoan guy comes out. He's easily like 180, 190. And at the time I was 153.
Oh my gosh.
Man, walking around?
I was like 155. Yeah, I was 16, 17. You know what I mean? Like I was skinny.
He's got 50 pounds on you?
Oh, he was easily 175. 180, I guess he was like 180. And then I looked at him. I was like, oh, I look at my coach. I'm in the ring. My family's front row. You know what I mean? Like, they're all front row. They're all cheering. I'm like, oh my God, you know.
The second
I ain't getting out of the kid. I'm not getting out of this ring. You know what I mean? I'm going to fight him. So he gets in. I'm like, oh, wow, I guess this is it. You know, like, when bang, he comes out, he hits me with a big overhand, like massive overhand. Drops me, you know, and I get an 8 count. I get up and I'm mad. The referee's like, give me 8 count. Like, get out of my way, you know. I want to get this guy, you know. And then like he gives me an 8 count. I was like, whatever. And then we start balling. We just both plant our feet, and it was just like a minute. Just just balling.
Is that fight online anywhere?
I have a clip of it.
You have to send it to us.
And then I land a knee. I break his ribs.
No.
Ooh. I land a knee. I step in. Boom. I knee him in his ribs, and he curls. I like just boom, walk him, and he falls out of the ring. And then the promotion was his coach. So they stopped around early, way early. And he's laying outside of the ring because I need him out of the ropes, you know what I mean? And he fell through the ropes and landed on the ground, like outside. They called the bout early, like super early, like 30 seconds early.
To go to the judges?
Boom. No, that was the first round.
Oh.
Just so you could try to recover.
He drops me at the first round, and then I break his ribs. And then, like, they call the round like 30 seconds early. I'm like, oh, wow. Like, this is crazy. As soon as I land the knee, he flies out of the ring. New Zealand's corrupt. You know what I mean? It's pretty corrupt. Like, they set me up to lose, and then they also called the round 30 seconds early.
Yeah.
He falls out the ropes onto the ground in front of my family. My family, like, I'm standing over, like, swearing at him, you know, like, all angry. I step back because I got dropped. I'm, like, pissed off. And then the round ends. I'm like, man, that was pretty fast. You know, whatever. I go to my corner. He comes out and he's dead. And I just like, don't, just start whipping on him and then I win. But New Zealand's like this, you know?
You're never fighting for this promotion ever again.
No, the guy was like, good job. I was like, man, you set me up. Well, you called me. You set me up. You know, I was good.
He's like, but I knew you had it, right?
Because he had a title fight in Australia.
Oh my God.
Like a couple weeks later.
You ruined that guy's life.
And they wanted to like give him a layup fight so he could like get accustomed before he goes over and fights for the title in Australia.
They picked the wrong person.
And they were like, oh, let's get this guy. Because at the time I was like 4-0, you know. They're like, oh, it'll be like a good fight for him. Then I destroyed him, you know.
Dude, that's a great story.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The New Zealand's like this, you know?
That's actually beyond crazy though, because you're saying you come from a Muay Thai background. But the move I was talking about, like specifically, because dude, you're like real aggressive. Like you use everything to close the distance. Even if you're going for a takedown, you're throwing strikes, you're doing all, like I've seen you run at a guy. Like you're crazy. I love it. But they're like the move where you take your lead leg, right? And you kind of feint. Like your knee goes up and you pull yourself forward. It's kind of like a karate move. They use it to close the distance.
Yeah, it's like a canter. I could call it like a canter step.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll like canter and
yeah. So you got a lot of crazy, and you use a lot of spinning back fists. Like you have a lot of crazy karate stuff, but you come from Muay Thai.
Yeah. I'm just, if someone shows me something, I'm like, oh, that's cool, and I go do it, you know?
Yeah, because dude, it was beautiful, because I saw him showing John Jones that, and these guys couldn't really pick it up, and I'm watching you fight, and I'm like, no, he's using the stuff from the movies, man. Like, this is crazy.
They tell me, like, a lot of my coaches are like, you're like a sponge.
Yeah.
So we show you one thing. We don't even need to show you. You just need to be in the room and see it, and then I'll go and do it, you know what I mean? So I really... inside the gym, I really try and implement the things. So what happens with a lot of people when they come into the gym, they're always trying to win. Yeah, right. They're like, I gotta win. But why win in the gym? It doesn't matter.
Right.
Like there's no cameras. There's no nothing. No one cares if you win in the gym. Oh, you beat Islam Makhachev in the gym.
Yeah, who cares?
Oh, well, go beat him in the cages. That doesn't matter in the gym. So in the gym, I'm trying new things.
Sharpening your skills.
I'm getting beat up trying to do things. The guy's like, oh yeah, I beat him up today. And I was like, yeah, but I was like...
there's definitely someone that goes, hey, I beat JJ today.
You know what I mean? And then like, but
that should be me in the cage, not JJ. That should be in the
but then I was like, you know, I'm trying all these new things, and you're going to get the best because I don't know what I'm doing. You know, I'm trying to figure it out on the way. But I'm the type of guy who's going to find the best guy in the room, get him, and try the new stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's gonna beat me. After 2-3 weeks, I'm going to start landing the new stuff, and then I can go back to my game, you know? So that's kind of like how I implement when I learn new things. I find the best guy in the room. I'm like, hey, let's go. And then I try to do it to him.
Dude, so So that's impressive that you weren't even practicing stand up when you fought Ghazi. So this time around, I'm pretty sure you're gonna win and get that back. But who do you see yourself facing off against? Is Burnell or Diaz in the finals?
No, the final is going to be it's out of Brett Primus and Alfie Davis.
Come on, Ricky.
Yeah. Brett Primus and Alfie Davis are going to be fighting. Personally, I think Brett Primus is going to just take him down and use his jiu-jitsu against him. So I'm guessing that it's going to be Brett Primus. But you never know. Alfie Davis has got some tricky stuff. He might land some spinning things. Brett Primus seems to just stand in front of people and not move too much. So like he could get caught. But I think on paper, Brett Primus should win,
Yeah, dude, Primus was a beast in Bellator, right? What happened to him? He fell off for a little bit and came back.
He's getting a little older, like he's taking a lot of damage.
Yeah.
So, you start to slow down a little bit.
Yeah, he seemed like he had something going on outside, though, because I remember he fell off and like disappeared for a little bit. Because who was he fighting, man? Was that Pitbull? Or Lima?
Patricio?
Yeah, I can't remember. He had a good rivalry in Bellator.
He beat Chandler. He beat
right?
A lot of guys.
Yeah, it was Chandler. Was that the one with the dead leg?
Yeah, he won with a calf kick. Well, it wasn't a calf, it was TKO, but he landed the calf kick.
Yeah, and he
Chandler's leg.
He
was
trying.
shut down. He stopped working.
Have you thought about once you win this tournament, where you're going to spend that big money on? I don't know if you thought about it.
I want a lamb.
That's all the money gone.
Oh, you have become a Florida man really quick.
I was like, man,
oh my God.
I got asked this question and I was like, I want a Lambo. They're like, what color? I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to. The color of Lambos is like yellow, right?
Lime green, dude.
But I don't want a yellow Lamborghini. Like, that's not.
Nah.
That was like, I want like a red one, a black and red one. But then they was like, why do you get a Ferrari? So,
thank you.
Damn. But probably I'm gonna try. I don't know.
Lambo for the first thing you're gonna splurge on?
I don't know. Probably. I'm the type of person where I can make more money.
The day you go buy your Lambo, hit us up and we'll go record the whole process.
All right, I'm gonna break off real quick and get the food, and we'll keep doing this.
Oh yeah. Let's just chew into the mic and that's it.
This is some ASMR.
This is good. You want a piece of this?
Nah.
You gotta try this.
You can kill my buzz, man. This pork belly goes crazy.
You got pork belly tacos?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm a heathen. I eat a lot of pork.
It's probably my favorite place that a guest has picked.
That's what you say every time.
No. Bro, this is good. This is good. You try the steak?
I just did, yeah.
I love the steak, yeah.
All right, cool. So Lambo.
Sneak it in, man. Sneak it in between bites.
But I was looking, man, they're expensive.
What are they like? They're like 150 or they're already 200?
Like you get like a Hurricane. Like
it's got to be more than that.
Bro.
Yeah.
What? 100, yeah.
Dude, I got a Jetta for like 30 grand. The Lambos have got to be crazy now.
Like if you want a Urus, you can get it for like 120, but like I'm not gonna be driving a Urus, right. Like I'm not a girl,
Oh man.
What about Ferraris or no?
I think about Corvette as well.
My brother had a Corvette and he loved it. And
but they can't sell them right now. They can't get them off the lot. So you can get like a brand new Corvette for like $60K now.
Yeah.
Because they can't get them off the lot.
Which is crazy because they look like low-key Ferraris at this point.
The really nice ones, like brand new 2025 ones, they can't get them off the lot.
Damn.
Because people are not really buying right now.
No one's buying anything right now.
No.
But I mean, we won't get into that. So we like to dig into the roots a little bit, right? So you're from New Zealand. We watched quite a bit of footage on you. We saw you talk about getting in a lot of fights and stuff when you were younger. What made you start martial arts?
So I was more of like a street kid growing up. Like I was homeless at like 12 years old. You know, I was hanging around like gangs and getting up to bad stuff in New Zealand. Yeah. And it was very, very bad. You know, I didn't really have guidance. I didn't have mentors. So I kind of just did what they told me, you know, and it was all bad stuff. Like my mentors were bad people. So I was just following their lead. So by the time I had started training, I was about 15. And by that time, the amount of street fights I had were like crazy. Like I'd been in riots. I had been in so many situations where like it's lucky for me to be alive, you know? Got shot at, almost got stabbed a few times, like very, very bad situations. And then when I was about 15, one of my friends, he was on probation, and his probation officer had him training at the gym, had him training jiu-jitsu. But he was like one of the weakest of all of us. So we like didn't
really pay attention to it.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I trained, and then we're like, okay, let's spar, because we had gloves, so we'll put on gloves and we'll just beat him up, you know what I mean? And then we're like, oh, why would we go there? Like, you're the example and you're terrible, you know? So one day he bought me some food, and I was like, oh, I'll pay back. And he goes, no, don't worry about it, just come to the gym with me. And I was like, oh, okay, like I didn't really have money to pay him back anyway, so you know, I was like, I better go to the gym. So I went there, and the first day was an advanced jiu-jitsu class. I wasn't even meant to be there, you know?
Right.
But they let us get on the mat, they let us train, and I'm there.
Oh my God.
And then I'm trying it, and they're just beating me. And like, they're not, you know, when you come into a class, they used to do an introduction class, you learn how to hip skate, front roll, back roll.
At least know what you're doing at all.
I walked in, it's an advanced class. I just got on the line, I was just like looking around, what are they doing? I just copy, you know what I mean? I taught myself how to hip skate, front roll, back roll, you know, I was like, oh. Did a couple drills, and then I learned like a triangle and a rear naked choke. That's all I knew. And they just whipped me. I went in like rolling with brown belts, black belts, purple belts, and they And in New Zealand, everyone's big. And I was a scrawny little kid. So they just whipped on me. And I was so mad. After leaving, I was so mad. I was like, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna smash these guys. I went back the next day, and I got smashed again. So I went back the next day, I got smashed again, and I kept getting smashed. And then within like 1 month of training, I did my first jiu-jitsu tournament. I never put on a gi before. It was a gi tournament. And my coach goes, if you compete in it, I'll give you a gi to compete in, because I had no money. I was like, okay. So I showed up there. He gave me the gi. I competed, and I had 3 fights, and I submitted everybody with a triangle. I was like, oh, this is cool, but you got to realize I was smoking, drinking. Like, I was drinking every night, smoking cigarettes. Like,
at 15.
I started when I was like 12.
Damn,
you know?
JJ.
So I started smoking cigarettes when I was 12. I quit when I was like 17, 16. So it was like 4 years that I was smoking like a pack a day. It was terrible. So smoking a lot. And then like I'm still smoking, drinking every day. Like I was showing up to training like weekend of liquor. And then one day I walk in with my coach, because you come in here finally like, one more time, I'm going to beat you. You never allow back in. I was kind of scared of him, because he's like a gorilla. You know what I mean? Like, you think of a superback gorilla, a white guy that looks like a super, that's what he looked like, bro. He's just
I'm thinking of like a Mark Hunt.
He's Mark Hunt. He's Mark Hunt's coach.
Is he really?
He's a coach. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, he's Mark Hunt's jiu-jitsu coach.
Jeez, what a small world.
Yeah, he's Mark Hunt. So I'm really
New
good friends
Zealand's
with
pretty
Mark
small,
Hunt.
right?
Yeah, I'm really good friends with Mark Hunt.
Are you really?
Me a lot. Yeah, Mark Hunt helped me a lot in the beginning of my career.
But we
like
love Mark Hunt.
When he fought Brock Lesnar, I was there in Vegas.
What?
Yeah, I fought in IMMAF at Amateur Worlds. And it was like the week leading up. I had like 3-4 fights in the matter of like each day. Like every day I had to make weight, weigh in, make weight. I had to make weight every day and then fight. And then on Saturday was UFC 200. Was like Amanda Nunes and Misha Tate, was it?
Yeah.
And Brock Lesnar and Mark Hunt.
Dude, I
was Brock the champion at the time, or no? It was it was a non-title.
No, it was a non-title fight. It was like Brock Lesnar's.
That was the one where he was
comeback fight.
Yeah, that's one where that's a big controversy that
that he's doing.
But that was awesome to see Mark come back and start knocking people out.
I love
and then walking off,
bro.
King of the walkout.
Did
people look big on TV? And then when you meet him in person, they look even bigger.
He's huge.
So I could imagine. I was going to ask you, how big is he in person? He's massive.
He's not tall,
Just a bulldozer.
but his leg, look at his shin, right? His shin, just the shin alone is bigger than this plate.
Get out of here.
But his leg is like this big, bro. It's like a
Dude,
tree trunk. And that's
ate-
not his thigh. That's his shin.
The way he knocks people out, just
No, but that man ate a head kick from Crow Cop, man. He ate a head kick from Crow Cop.
and nothing.
Bro, his shin is like his shin. I'm not talking about like his thigh, bro.
Yeah.
His shin alone.
He does. He has
It's
huge,
like
his huge,
this plate, bro.
man.
Jeez, bro. I couldn't imagine just how hard he hits.
Oh,
But
and he thought
Did he,
his entire body.
Dude, did he ever clean up his diet when he was fighting in the UFC? Because I remember when he was
No,
in
he never
Pride,
did.
He would come in.
he was eating
He would
KFC.
come into camp like huge, bro. Like
Really?
huge, like 300 clicks, kgs. That's like 400. Like he would come in massive.
Oh my
He
God.
was cutting to make weight. What is it,
You
like
wanna-
260?
Yeah, 265.
He was like dying to make weight.
You know what's crazy? If my wife hears this, my wife had the biggest crush on Mark Hunt.
nah, you're lying.
I
You're
swear to
making this
God.
up. Stop
Well,
it.
especially when he dyed his hair blonde, he's like, "Oh, he's really handsome." And I was
The
like,
fights, all my first fights, I all dyed my hair blonde because
You
of Mark
did.
Hunt.
I saw some pictures of you with
because
that.
of Mark Hunt.
okay.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Mark Hunt is definitely one of my like favorite fighters of all
Without
time.
him, man, like in the beginning of my career, I have a funny story. So he's getting ready to fight Bigfoot,
Oh.
the first fight when they had a war, right?
Yeah.
He's getting ready to fight Bigfoot. He comes in. I'm sleeping in the attic of the gym because I was living in the attic of the, I wasn't, at that time I was winning fights. I wanted to better my life. I stopped doing all the bad things and I moved into the gym and I was living in an attic. You couldn't even like get up in the morning. And my diet consisted of ramen noodles every day. Right? Ramen noodles was my breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And when I got lucky, it was eggs and some fruit. That was like literally was my diet. Like, I couldn't afford anything. And then he comes in like 6 a.m., right? Really early. Throws something up into the attic. He's like, "Hey, Jay, wake up." I'm like, "What's up? What's up?" And he's like, "Get your clothes on. We're going to the cafe. Call all your family. Call everybody." So I'm calling everybody. I'm like, "Hey, Mark Hunt's inviting us to go eat." I show up like 10 people to eat. You know what I mean? Like, and then we get there and he's like, "Hey, get you some food and get some to take home." And tell all of them too. So I tell everyone, "Hey, get food to take home." Right? And we're sitting there, and then like the media guys, some media guy, I don't know what guys, they were like paying for it. So we show up, we all our food, we all our food, we don't get takeaway.
So it was media for Mark?
Yeah, it was like some media for
He got the whole family.
and then we all just left. We all just left and left the guy with the bill. The bill was like 2-3K for the guy paid it.
Oh, man. Hey, that's nice to Mark, though, man.
And then Mark was like, "Hey, enjoy the food." I'm like, "You're the man, bro. Thank you."
That's awesome.
That's
hilarious.
I will forever remember that, And then afterwards, like, when you make it, take them out of, they said they're going to buy you breakfast, make them pay. I was like,
Oh, that's incredible, man.
That is awesome.
Wow. So, like, how long did you end up training out there before you came to America?
so I was training, I started there, right? So I started training and then, I had my first MMA fight and I had done no striking. It was just jiu-jitsu. So that was like within 3 months of me training. And I won in like 30 seconds. I was like, I have a video of it. It's like a street fight. I came out with my hands down. I like faked to touch his glove. Punch him. You know what I mean? Like it was hands down, and I'm just like you see those street fights. They got their hands down. They're just like taunting him. Yeah, like what's up? That's literally what I'm doing. Fake glove touch, sock him. Like it was terrible. I finished him though, like in the first minute. And then the next week, we get a kickboxing coach. And then he's like training me a little bit. He said, "Hey, you want to fight?" I said, "Yeah, I want to fight." And he goes, "Oh, I'll go your fight in 2 weeks."
All right.
Okay, and he goes, "Train with me every day." So I'm like training with him every day. 2 weeks later, I had my first kickboxing fight. 2 weeks after that, I have another kickboxing fight. And I just like went super crazy until like I was fighting. I had 5 fights. No, I had 4 fights in 5 weeks.
Damn, that's a lot.
And that was in between, that that was in between MMA and kickboxing, right? Because I was fighting them
over there. That was already here.
in New Zealand when I was amateur. You know, but in New Zealand, they don't separate amateurs from pro and kickboxing. So, and back then, amateur was just no elbows.
That's it.
So in MMA, it was pro MMA gloves, no gear. You just can't elbow them in the head. You can knee in the head, you can do everything else. So it was pro, but no elbows. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
It was kind of like PFL's rules. You know what I mean? Like,
You were ready for this.
yeah, that was PFL rules last year, right? No elbows. That was like what I was fighting in amateur. It was just like exactly the same. So I was doing that and fighting kickboxing about the same time. And then I was also doing a lot of jiu-jitsu tournaments and wrestling, right? So I won nationals wrestling. I won nationals jiu-jitsu.
So wrestling, were you in high school at the time or no?
No, I didn't go to school.
So how did that work?
So I got, my school asked, they told me I was too smart and they asked me politely to leave.
That's a good strategy. You know what?
But like,
I'm out of here.
They say, hey, you're too intelligent for us. We have nothing left to teach you. But,
But like they have wrestling tournaments over there that you can just enter?
yeah. So the wrestling over there is not like school. It's
Yeah.
like clubs.
Gotcha.
You know, it's not as big as like the wrestling there is not good. You know, to be honest, it's not that great. Whenever we have the Olympic team, but the Olympic team was terrible. Have they ever even seen a semifinal in their life? Probably never. You know, not to diss them, but I think the wrestling is the most corrupt system. I remember my first wrestling tournament. I go and this guy, he won Oceania, he won nationals, and he was like the guy. And the mother was like the president of the wrestling committee, right? I'm wrestling against him. My coach is this Iranian guy, crazy. He comes to me and he's like, hey, he's got like a head problem. If you just club him, he won't know what to do. But don't do that. I said, yeah, I won't do it. Don't worry. So I come out and club him. Boom, boom, boom. Like, he's like clubbing him bad. And he starts like stumbling, like he's dazed. And then I snap him down. I get a front headlock. And then I try to like gator roll him, but he tries to stay strong. He gets put to sleep. It's like fast. So I slept him. And so he's on the ground, like fitting out. His mom runs on the mat to fight me. And then Mike,
did you clock her?
No, so my coach's wife was there. My coach wasn't there, but my coach's wife was there.
She ran
and
out.
she was coaching me. You know what I mean? So she ran out to fight him, and then I didn't get picked for the Commonwealth team just because of that. After that, she's like, "No, he can't." And that guy went. I was like, "Dude, I slept him." You know, like they took him, they picked him up, they put him on a stretcher, and he went on the stretcher. You know, to the hospital.
When you were you were still in New Zealand and you started training MMA, what happened with like the boys that you used to like hang out with? Like, did they try reaching back out to you over time? Like, hey, come back.
Which ones?
The bad ones.
No, so they all, like some of them dead. You know what I mean? Some of them are like still doing the same stuff. Some of them are messed up extremely badly. Like one of my really, really good friends, he got so where we lived in this like cul-de-sac, and you just jump over the fence and the shop is right there. So like we just jumped the fence, go to a shop. He did that one night, and there's another like rival gang.
No.
There. And then there was like 4 of them, you know, and he stanced up against them. They grabbed they had a pole, and then he tried to slip the pole and it boom hit him. And then when he's on the ground,
they killed him.
No, but he's still alive. But you know, I had to have his face reconstructed and like a lot of bad things. But I'm still good friends with them. You know what I mean? I still, when I go back, I still see them. You know what I mean?
Good.
They're proud of me. You know.
What about your boy that got you into this?
I don't know about him. He went off the radar.
Oh, really?
You know, like he went completely off the radar. He went to jail for a long time. A lot of them in jail. You know, he went to jail for a long time. Yeah, he's.
Now, so when you came here, how was that opportunity to?
So, my first time I came here.
Was it a fight related, or you came here to visit?
Jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
I went to Jiu-Jitsu Worlds. Funny story.
Oh, that was the Nogi Worlds?
It was Gi Worlds, actually.
Oh, you did Gi Worlds?
I've done multiple. I competed after that. I competed every year, gi and no gi, from blue, purple, brown, you know. And one time I did no gi world's black belt, but I came as a blue belt like 16. Really messed up, though. Like I don't know, you know what I mean? I got there, didn't bring my passport. They didn't let me compete.
Oh shit!
And then I actually came to Florida, and I was training American Top Team where I am now. I went there and I spent like a couple of weeks there as a kid. And then I went back to New Zealand, and then I was just training, like looking to fight, looking to do what I can. And then Johnny Faria, who I was living with in San Diego, he's like a dad to me. He came over to New Zealand, and he did a seminar in my gym. And then I was like, you know, I want to come over to compete in Nogi Worlds. I want to do this. Like, he goes, man, you can come sleep in my gym. This is when I was living in the attic of the gym. You can come sleep and train in my gym. I was like, okay, like, I'll do that. So I flew over like a month before the tournament. I was training with him, and then we built a really good connection, and I just kept coming back like as much as I could. So you could stay like up to 90 days. Then you have to leave the country. So I was just like, I sold everything I had. I got like some sponsors. I did everything I could to possibly, because I didn't come from a rich family, you know. I had to,
your parents were cool about you just leaving in New Zealand?
Well, I made my own decisions. You know what I mean? I was 12 years old when I was left out on my own. You know, by the time I was 15, I was fully grown adult. You know, in terms of my eyes.
So you grew up fast.
I grew up really fast. So like, no one could tell me what to do. You know? I was like, this is what I'm doing. I did it. You know.
But dude, that's a great place to end up. Like, you said you ended up in San Diego?
So I moved to San Diego, yeah.
Like, that's a jiu-jitsu hotspot, man.
And that's all I did, you know. I was all jiu-jitsu. And then I had a lot of MMA fights and kickboxing fights by that time, but I was just training, competing jiu-jitsu. That's it. And I was submitting world champions, you know what I mean? Like, I submitted Jonathan Gracie, black belt world champion. Very, very high.
Yeah, he was super hyped for a minute.
Yeah, he still is, man. He's still winning. He's still competing at high level, you know. A lot of guys I beat that are now black, like Jensen. I submitted him as well. He's black belt world champion, you know. A lot of guys that are, you know, so I was pretty high level at jiu-jitsu. But then it was like, what path am I going to take?
Mm-hmm.
Am I going to go MMA or am I going to go jiu-jitsu? There's no money in jiu-jitsu. I know many world champions that can't even pay their water bill.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, this guy, yeah, he won 5 times world champion, but he can't pay his rent.
Nah, you got to open a gym and have a kids program or you're screwed.
You see what I mean? So now, and then I got the opportunity for Bellator. So I debuted in Bellator. And then the day that I debuted, my sister passed. My sister took her own life literally the night before the fight.
Man, so you get the best news and the worst news of your life in the same day.
That was on the first fight for Bellator?
My first fight, my professional debut was with Bellator.
Oh my God, that must have been gut-wrenching.
And I just made weight. It was like 3 a.m. in the morning, just made weight. I was like delirious, you know what I mean? Because cutting weight is terrible. And then I get that news and I was like distraught, extremely distraught. And then, you know, my coach Johnny was there and he's like, well, I was like, what do I do? You know, he's like, it's nothing you can do. You just got to go out there and win. So I did. I woke up, made weight, refueled, went out, and I fought. You know, I finished the guy in like 30 seconds, and then I was like motionless. You know what I mean? And then I made my mission back to New Zealand. Then I came back here again because that time I had gotten a visa, and then I just dedicated everything to just training. You know?
Yeah.
And then from there, like, started fighting. I was winning everything, you know. I got to like 8-9-0. And then, you know, now we're kind of up to date, you know. And then my brother he also took his life.
Who did?
My brother, he was a fighter as well. He took his life.
It was 3 of
January.
you?
No, so, it's like, it's very different, right? Because me and my sister were blood. The thing about Hakaraya, he was... We kind of just like adopted brother almost, you know, because he moved, he came to me and I was submitting black belts in New Zealand, you know. I won everything in New Zealand. I was MMA champion, national champion, open weight, national champion for jiu-jitsu. I was beating everybody. And he's like, how are you beating all these? And I was 16, 17, you know. He's like, how are you beating everybody? Like, I want to do that. And we had the same last name. He's like, how are you doing that? I said, man, if you want to do that, just come move up to Auckland and train. That's it. Just come up here and train and just focus on that. And you'll do it too, you know? So he did. Moved up to Auckland, just trained, and he listened to my advice. And then he came to America. He was living with me for a very long time. And then, like, when we came over here, it was very hard to explain to everyone, right? The one was like, oh, is he your brother? And then eventually we're just like, yeah.
Yeah, it's my brother.
Yeah.
I got it.
It's like, guys got the same last name. Guys look similar, same place. It's like, oh, is he your brother? After, like, the 10th, 20th person asked us that, we're just like, yeah, he's my brother.
Yeah, I got you.
And then from there, we just always
hung out and...
Well, he was living with me for many years, you know? It was
train together, eat together.
Train together. We're on the same goal, same path, you know? He's a fighter as well. He actually just won his fight. And then, he took his life over the New Year's this year. So it was very tragic, you know, very, very, but now I'm trying to use it for good somehow. You know what I mean? It's very hard to make a bad situation like that be good. But if I can use that to maybe help someone out of that situation, like, hey, listen, like, I experienced this and it's a very, very hard loss, you know? So, like, the hard thing about doing something like that is, yes, you're free of your pain, but you pass your pain on to your loved ones. You know what I mean? And that's the best way to put it.
Everyone that's still around just hurts.
It hurts, and they hurt more.
They hurt more.
Yeah. So, like, there's always, it's hard, you know, when you're in that tunnel, it's only black. You know, you only see darkness.
It's crazy how, like a simple, somebody just simply reaching out to you, say, hey, how are you? Like, it makes such a big difference. I always tell him that. I think the majority of the people don't talk about it much. Like, everybody has, like, suicidal thoughts at one point in time.
It's very tough, man.
That was another question that I had for you, but you ever tell yourself just a point that you were struggling so much you didn't see the light? It was just pitch black for you. You're like, do you ever experience that?
Yeah, I've had it many times. Many, many, many times.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm sure somebody reached out to you, or no?
Yeah, so, like, when I was young, really young, I was very, very suicidal as a kid. Very suicidal kid. You know, I used to lock myself in the garage, like, threaten to kill myself, and someone come in, I would, like, threaten them. Like, in New Zealand, it's very weird. They had this, like, stigma. You know, like, you have to be macho man, you know, you can't show your emotions, you can't talk about your emotions. That's why the suicide rate in New Zealand is actually very, very high. You know?
I had no idea.
It's because, like, how men are raised, like, you can't be emotional, you don't cry, you don't show your emotions, you be as stoic as possible. And, you know, you can see, if you look at the suicide rate, it's one of the highest in the world in New Zealand. And I think it's around that stigma, right? Like this tall poppy syndrome kind of call it. Like, and it's very hard for people to be happy for you. If they see you succeed, they gotta, like, bring you down to their level somehow, you know?
We were just talking about that. Like, we don't understand how people could be like that.
And New Zealand is very, very common. Like, if you're successful, they want to bring you down to their level. You know what I mean? They're like, but you don't remember this, da, da, da. They try to bring you down, you know? Or, so it's very hard. I've been in that place many times in my life. You know, I had so many traumatic experiences where, that I've gone through that. And, like, now I've learned how to deal with it. But back then, I didn't know, you know? Like, the best thing is, like, if you don't feel comfortable talking to somebody, you don't have, like, a good friend or, like, a family member that you don't feel comfortable confiding in, and you don't feel like confiding in anybody,
right.
Get a therapist. You know, they're paid to listen.
There's that stigma against that too, though, right?
There is, but, like, why? You know, they're literally there just for you to tell your problems. They're not going to go and tell anybody else.
Right.
You can call them and you can confide in them in anything. And the best thing that they're going to do is they're going to try and give you advice. And if you don't like their advice, get a new therapist. And then a lot of people, you know, when you're going through very, very tough times, maybe they don't even have the money for it.
Yeah, that's true too.
So then it becomes a little bit harder. But if you have someone that you trust that you can confide in that will listen, you know, then talk with them. But if you don't have nobody, or you don't feel comfortable with situations that is going on, you don't want to talk about with anyone, because a lot of situations happen that maybe you're embarrassed, you know what I mean? You don't want to tell people. You can confide in a therapist. They're literally paid to keep things confidential, like I do therapy, you know what I mean? I think it's great. I think it's really good for you, so that's something I would say, like, find someone you can confide in or get a therapist,
So, dude, how was that? Like getting a therapist, right? Because, I mean, like when you really think about it, right? You're like, oh, this therapist is like another person, right? Like, what do they know more than I know?
Yeah.
So, like, did you feel like when you first did it, that it was like, was it hard for you to get in there and get that and like get over that?
So I had a stigma against therapists too. I was like, why do I need a therapist? You know what I mean? Like, that's gay. I don't need a therapist. I can deal with stuff myself. But the thing is when I started doing it, it started to give me insights onto why I am reacting the way I'm reacting. She started to explain, like, oh, you're feeling this way because of this and this and this. And then like, if you start thinking like this, you can do this process to kind of bring you out of it. Right? Like there's like processes of thinking, and it explains, everything has an explanation. And when you don't have the explanation, you think, you get into this thing as, oh, this is only happening to me. You know what I mean? There's no way out of it. I'm the only one who can solve it, right? So you isolate yourself, you hide away more, and then the thoughts become so overwhelming, and then the room gets darker and darker, and then your thoughts get darker.
You drown in your own negative thoughts.
You're drowning in your own sorrows, So if you have a good therapist, right? Try. That's what I say. If you don't like therapy, get a new one. There's millions of them.
Dude, I struggled with suicide. Like right out of like middle school, it just randomly hit me, and I told my dad, and he's just like, just get over it, right? And then, but I told my aunt, which is like my dad's sister, and she took me to like a therapist, and she helped me out a little bit, and it was like everything brought back to like the trauma. Not to make this about me, but the trauma with like my mother and my dad, like when I was younger. Like, it was all connected to that shit, to that stuff.
Oh, ruined the whole episode.
I ruined the whole episode. And
I did it too, though.
And then, like, I started going, like, right after, like, when I was in high school. But then she made the mistake and she found me this really hot therapist, and I couldn't focus ever again. And I couldn't focus. It was Miami Beach, so I went every single time. And I was just talking to her, and then she's like, oh, so how are you? Let's start with a hug. Yes, we can. And then, like, the more I spoke to her, I was just there for other intentions. I'm like, I'm fixed. I'm good now.
You're the best. Thank you.
She's the best. She fixed me with her hot looks.
That's a good thing too. I tell people, like, if you're around beautiful people, you pick up the energy.
Bro, that's so true.
People, you know what I mean? Like,
you ever
hang out with people that look good, because if they look good, they act good, they're happy. Well, it's like an energy.
We're sorry we're bringing down your mood right now.
the darkest interview ever, but over good food and tequila. I say it's serious. I had a friend take his own life, and I was like, well, being so little, we're like, really?
Yeah, dude. I went to high school with a class of 150 people, and I think 20 of them have killed themselves.
Jesus.
Yeah.
How sad. Like, it's
a tragic thing,
but I think we will never fully understand, like, the final thought that's like, hey, you know what? I'm done.
Well, the thing is a lot of them unfortunately, right before they do it, they have a lot of regret. Like, I don't want to do this, but it's too late.
Yeah,
correct.
Yeah, once that decision's made, it's over.
It's like, sometimes you make a decision, and you're like, oh, that wasn't the right decision.
Yep. You don't get that chance with that.
You know what I mean? And like, I've experienced some pretty bad things, and I've attempted to try and kill myself before, and like, why, when you get to that moment, it's you don't want to, your body's naturally going to fight against it, but you don't want to. So usually, depending on what they do, but at that moment, they're like, they try and fight back, like, it's like, oh, I don't want to, but see,
I know what you're saying.
They've done, it may be irreversible. You know what I mean? That's why you see a lot of like near-death experiences from suicide attempts, and the people like that was fortunately that was the best thing that happened to them, because then they realized
changed everything
for them, and then they started to live their life to the fullest, right? So it's a very, very difficult thing, and I have no idea how to solve it. You know what I mean? For me, I'm like, man, if I can help one person by sharing my story, that's enough for me, you know, because if I help one person, I don't just help him, I help his entire family, you know, because that guy or her, the entire family are not going to have that suffering that, you know.
I had a question. It was going to be like a fun question. It's not anymore, JJ. My question was, if you could see how you would pass away and when you will pass away, would you want to know how you die?
No.
Would you?
No.
You're a liar.
We've had that conversation. I told you no too.
No.
I want to know.
Why?
I don't know. I feel like
you can't.
But to think about it like this, right?
Sorry, tell me why you don't want to know.
But your whole thing was you can't do anything about it, right? You were like, you're still gonna die that way no matter what, or something like that.
Let's say that.
Yeah. So let's say I'm gonna go skydiving, and that's the way I die. I will not skydive, right?
But you're gonna have to at some point if that's your destiny.
Or maybe that same day I don't die from skydiving, but I die from something else.
Have you seen
Final Destination?
Exactly. They're gonna get you one way or another.
So, but this is my thing, right? If you knew fate and it was irreversible, now you're in this like conundrum, right? Because you're like, oh, if I don't do this, that won't happen.
Right.
But then you're like, wait, what if that was the future and it happened because I didn't do it?
Yep.
No, like if I didn't do it, that's the reason why it happened. And now you're in this like, oh, and then you're like, no, I have to go. Because if I don't go, then like if the reason why that's going to happen is because I didn't go.
Right.
And then you're never going to be right.
What about now? I don't die, 30 years from then. I avoid that and somehow I die sooner. That could happen too. You get me? Instead of me avoiding that.
But
because by you knowing, you threw everything off.
If it could be irreversible, right? Like there's no way that you know that it's going to happen. That like you know what's going to happen. There's nothing you can do about it. So now that thing knows that you know. So it's changed from what you thought it was, what it should have been. And that's what I say. It's too complicated.
My freaking mind.
It's like time travel, man. Time travel is insane. Like you go back, you change time.
Yeah.
You will wind up in a whole different like.
I really hope time travel is real.
That's like, dude, you ever watch Butterfly Effect?
I don't like that. Actually,
you watch Flash?
I don't like that guy.
A little bit.
The new one, right?
Yeah,
like, that's kind of like a simpler version of it.
I can't stand Ashton Kutcher.
Oh my!
I didn't watch that movie.
Grow up, dude. He's like a brown belt now, right?
He's a brown belt.
I don't know if he's a real brown belt, but he's a brown belt. All right, so now that we've got all the sad stuff out the way, like, dude, I'm like super impressed with your jiu-jitsu game, man. Especially you're saying you went to like a random gym in New Zealand. Like your game is super modern.
Yeah.
Like, let me ask you one thing. Were you going for a Gogo Plata against Aljamain?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
I'm really professional for my back. So I remember in the start when I first started training jiu-jitsu, I actually learned rubber guard from Eddie Bravo's book.
So you were going for rubber guard.
Yeah, I'm good. I like rubber guard. So I learned from his book.
I have the book too.
But I had the rubber guard book.
Yeah.
And I actually have a fight from way back then. I was like a blue belt. Like my first amateur, like in the cage, like no glove, like my house is saying just no elbows. And I get a meat hook. Like I go for a Gogo Plata, kind of lifts his head, and I go for a meat hook, and I sweep, and I go to Uma Plata, and then I just like ground and pounding him for slight control. Then I mount him, I get a mounted triangle, and then I just like rain punches, and I won. That was from the book. You know what I mean?
It did look like you were going for like the meat hook and everything. Like I wasn't sure. I wasn't 100% sure.
When I was in San Diego, Boogie, you know Boogie?
Yeah, of course.
Richie Martinez.
Yeah.
Joe Martinez, their brothers. They would bring their school to my school all the time. You know
crazy.
what I mean? Then we would cross train, and then Boogie, I would say, is one of the best rubber guard players in the world.
Yeah, big time.
And then I was picking his brain, and I actually learned how to do it. You know what I mean?
Dude, you almost had a go plot on Aljamain Sterling. That was nuts.
I think I won that fight, but that's all.
I think so too. But again, it goes on he was on top like half the time.
You gotta realize the rule set. No, I took him down twice.
Yeah, but a lot of the time he was on top.
Because I pulled guard.
Exactly.
Right?
But you know how that goes, man. I competed in Worlds one time in my life as a blue belt as well. And I'm a half guard player because I'm lazy. So I had pulled half guard. I swept the guy, right? And then we stand up. There's like 30 seconds left because we stood up because the ref, they speak Portuguese. So I don't know what the hell he's saying. My boy's like, he's saying you're stalling. I'm like, I'm on top. What do you mean I'm stalling? So we get up. I pull half guard again. I lose. But like I dominated the whole fight. But he got the points for taking me down. Like that's why I was asking you the question of like, do you feel like takedowns are a little bit too heavy?
No, so originally, this is the rules that we went into. It was what Algernon wanted, right? So
yeah.
We get there, and they're like, what are the rules? And he's like, I don't want to fight for 12 minutes. And then they're like, well, we have 12 minutes.
That's why they did a little break.
They wanted to do like EBI rules. Like you start on the back, you start on the mountain. I don't do it.
Yeah.
That's bullshit. You get to start on my back. Never get my back in the first place. Right. You're going to start there. You know what I mean? You can start an armbar. You'll never give me an armbar. Why would I let you start an armbar?
And it's dangerous.
I think that you're never going to get there. So why we started there? So I don't want to do EBI. They're like, well, what do you want to do then? I said, well, anything. Apart from that, we can go referee's decision, whatever, golden score, whatever. And then he was like, oh, okay, let's do a golden score. I was like, okay, golden score is good. And then he goes, wait, I have better wrestling. So like I have the advantage on that. So let's do like 2 points. I'm like, whatever you want, but I don't really care, And I took him down twice.
Right.
So what happened to the better wrestling, I like Algernon though. He's a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
And then so I had one, and then I was just like kind of like, oh wow, I won. I just got to kind of stall out. And then he passed my guard, he gets one, and then they give it to him, Because he passed my guard, but there was like 2 seconds left. So there wasn't no establishment. Yeah. There was a 3-second rule of establishment.
There is a 3-second rule, yeah.
Right, he got us hold for 3 seconds. If you look at the clock, it's 2 seconds. And I give it to him. I say,
is there any money to be made of like jiu-jitsu tournaments
now
and stuff like that? Yeah,
now, yeah,
that's what we talked about with Mauricio. Remember, Mauricio said he won the EBI and got a bunch of money for winning the bonus and all that stuff.
Now some I got paid good for that.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of that now, especially like Karate Combat's randomly doing those pit events. How'd you feel about that? How'd you like the pit?
I like it. I think all grappling things should be in there.
Yeah. Hey, you don't have no out of bounds anymore.
I used it to take him down.
Yeah.
Very easy. I ran him through and I just ankle picked it.
Dude, you had another match against William Tackett, which was one of the like guys that was getting super hyped too. Like, how was that?
It was good. I threw him. I like hip threw him, sky high, too. And then like, I lost in overtime. It was a good fight though. Yeah, I lost in overtime. It was like overtime for a golden score. And then I voted for a toe hold. Because like he was just laying on his back doing nothing. Because I threw him in the regular.
Yeah.
So he just like pulled guard right away. And then he was going for like a calf slicer. I said, dude, I would never tap to this in my life. You can take my whole leg off my leg. I'm not going to tap. Like I'm not tapping. So I popped a couple times. And I was like, dude, it's like, you can keep going if you want.
Like calf slicer made your knee pop?
Yeah. I was like, a couple times. Like,
what
dude,
a badass.
I'm never like, you can do whatever you want to my leg, but I don't tap the leg locks. You're going to take it off my leg, And then he let it go, obviously. After a while, he got exhausted. And then when he let it go, I dived on his toe. I was going for a toe hold, and then it slipped. And then he scrambled up on top. And then the referee stopped to give him points.
You see how tough you are that you wouldn't tap out to a leg lock? I'm just so happy I didn't pursue MMA or kickboxing. I'm happy being a dad. So happy. The first inconvenience.
I just looked at him and I was like, dude, you're wasting your energy, dude. It hurts, yeah. It hurts, but
yeah,
I ain't gonna tap.
Oh, I feel that, dude. I'm the opposite of him. I still want to do it every day. My shoulder is so jacked up from playing half guard and getting Kimura to death. But it's the greatest thing ever, man.
My greatest achievement was a blue belt. I'm out. The second I got it,
I call that the blue belt curse.
That is the blue belt curse, dude.
I was like, I'm out.
I succeeded. I'm gone.
I made my first step. I'm out of here.
And blue belt, dude, blue belt, like back in the day was a lot harder to get. Like they wouldn't just give you your blue belt.
No, now you get into some real controversy with jiu-jitsu. You know, it depends on where you are, who's your coach. There's people handing out belts left, right, and center.
You're going to eat the last one?
I'm good for now.
Really?
What, you want it?
No. Bro, I ate. It was so good. This was so good.
I'm kind of full from this.
You drank how many beers?
We don't talk about that, dude. We're being PG.
Yeah, like the bouts right now, like some people are just handing them out, right? They want some money, you know, like, oh,
yeah,
private, so you do this, you do this.
It's also like you
stay
said
with me. Here's a blue belt, you know.
Well, like you said earlier, right? There is money in jiu-jitsu now, a little bit, but like, say you're running a school, you don't want to lose students because they don't feel like they're getting rewarded.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of blue belts that shouldn't be blue belts, man. I've seen a lot of black belts
that shouldn't be black belts.
They're doing at
I say there's like black belts.
Yep.
Then there's like black belts that are good,
right?
And then there's like MMA black belts that.
Well, dude, even a
little bit better. Than
there's like crazy. There's crazy levels too because competition blue belts.
Right, there's a legit black belt,
yep.
And then there's a competition black belt.
Yep.
That's the levels of black.
But dude, even a competition blue belt in 2025 could maybe be a black belt in like 1998.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now. Purple belts, the people who win purple belt worlds,
yep,
are going to be black belt world champions.
100%.
100%. You go back when like all the black belt champions now, world champions now, we're all competing at purple belts.
Yep.
Right? They were winning purple belt worlds. Now they're winning black belt worlds, all of it.
Yep.
You know, that's how it goes, is the winners at purple belt are going to be the black belt world champions. If they fought them at purple belt, they could possibly beat them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would say the black belts would win, but you would get the rare person.
It happens.
That would win.
Because like, look at the competitions where they don't worry about matching up belts. They just match up talent, and the purple belts are smashing black belts.
You got to see, like, Mika, I was doing it. Like, Mika was doing it.
Yep.
At blue belt.
He
was like 15 years old.
Too, yep.
He was 15 years old, just like clowning black belts, like passing the guy,
jeez,
choking him, like finishing.
Who's that?
Mika Galvao.
He's one of the best grapplers right now in jiu-jitsu.
Yep. I watched him at the Abu Dhabi in Vegas, like, 4 years ago now. Kid's a beast.
Roberto Jimenez as well.
Yep.
Great good friend of mine too.
So, dude, at what point did you come to American Top Team?
So I came when I was younger. After my loss with Gazi,
what is this?
I made the move here. You know? I made the move here after I lost to Gazi. It was about 3-4 years ago. So I've been now here training for about 3-4 years. And I moved just because of that loss, right? Whenever I lose anything, you know, you got to go back, you got to reevaluate. Like, why did I lose? You know? It was nothing against my coach. I love Johnny. I love this coaching. He's one of the best jiu-jitsu coaches.
Yeah, you're still listed on their site, dude. Like, I was trying to figure out your lineage, and I'm like, it's not in Cali anymore.
Yeah. Like, he's a father to me, right? One of the best jiu-jitsu coaches in the world. And if I could train with him here, I would. You know what I mean? I go back there and train with him all the time. I was just over there. He's still in my corner when he can be, you know what I mean? He's going to be in my corner for the next fight. So I need MMA training partners. I need MMA training. And that's when I made the move to American Top Team. You know, I was like, this as the best team in the world. Everybody's on the same goal. Everyone's on the same path. Everyone wants to fight MMA. That's where I need to be. And that's when I made the move.
And you, who's your main training partners right now?
Matthias Gamma, Grant Dawson, Renato Moicano,
Shout out Grant.
Everybody.
Podcast too.
Everybody, you know what I mean? Like, all the top guys, you know? Thiago Moises, I trained Johnny Eblin. Best guys in the world.
Yeah, I mean, dude, no lie though.
Really is.
American top team.
we got a good lineup.
Yep.
You know, one of the toughest rooms in the world.
Yeah, big time. Once they closed it off and made it pro only, and it's just all killers in there.
It's one of the toughest rooms to be in the world, you know, and it's great for me.
I mean, dude, you can see whatever you're doing is working.
I was in there. I was like, wow, this feels easy. Yeah, like don't punch it. I was like, oh, this is fun. Oh, this is way easier than the gym. Boom, boom.
Dude, you like I don't know how to say it, but you don't really have like a top team style. You know what I'm saying? A lot of top team guys are real like methodical. They're real grinders, but you just. And again, like Johnny, you and Johnny have a kind of similar style, but different. But you close the distance with like strikes. You guys don't care if you get hit. You're just getting in there. You're doing what you got to do. And
get a little reckless sometimes.
Yeah,
you know?
dude, it's super entertaining and it's effective. It's awesome.
At American Top Team, we all come from our own backgrounds.
Yeah.
So when we come there, they just like, if you're working with the right coach, they just
make it better.
They don't change what you're doing.
Just amplifies it.
They just amplify it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, if you do this, like they just change like a couple of things just to make you safer. Right? The hardest thing I think in MMA is being defensively sound.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? If you can defend yourself at all times, you can be offensive at all times. But if you're just offensive and you got no defense, like you can get slapped, you know? Yep. So it's like over there, they really focus on, I'm very aggressive. I'm like Rambo. I'll run out front. I went out front, guns blazing.
So, dude, did you have any inspiration like in your journey? Like, did you have any guys that you Mark Hunt?
Mark Hunt.
That's the best one ever.
Was Mark Hunt, and I knew him, and he helped me a lot.
Were you familiar with Carlos Condit?
Yeah,
because you remind me of him.
Really?
A little bit.
I like Robbie Lawler.
That's a good compliment. I was going to say
Robbie Lawler.
Robbie Lawler was the man.
I was going to say you remind me of Robbie Lawler.
But no, like
not Carlos Condit.
Carlos Condit was.
Is it Carlos Condit? I say Robbie Lawler.
No. Well, Robbie's a different animal too, because Robbie's like a beast on the feet, and like he's okay on the ground. But like Carlos, to me, I loved his style because he would just be reckless. He'd run at you, he'd kickbox, and if you took him down, he didn't care. And I feel like it's the same with you. If you get taken down, you don't care.
No.
But you're like Carlos Condit, whereas Carlos would just try to get back up. You're like, hey, you're on my ocean now.
I'm proficient pretty much anywhere, and I don't care where to fight.
Exactly. And that's so fun to watch.
You know what I mean? If I'm on my back, I'm going to hurt you with elbows. Yep. You know what I mean? If I'm on the cage, I'm going to hurt you with elbows and knees.
But you're also really good at tying dudes up. Like I noticed, like every time someone takes you down, you tie their arm up immediately. They can't throw strikes.
Yeah, well, defense is number one thing. You know what I mean? Like,
but it's so nice.
I watch so many people get punished on the bottom. You know? They can finish you one shot. You know, the one that got quick. But your gravity on your side.
You're not just stalling either. Like you're using it offensively. Like it's fun to watch.
They have gravity on their side and you don't.
Yep.
So you got to get leverage. Yeah. Right? You got to control. You got to get leverage to try and land something big or to get up or to get a submission.
Right.
To be off your back, you have to be extremely active.
Don't be looking
crazy over there, dude.
Trace is the best.
Don't be looking at me reading this.
Trace,
are you gonna get one too? All right, let's do it. Fine. He said
I got strength and conditioning after that. I Trace literally there. No way I'm making that. Then I'm gonna get yelled at.
Yeah, we're gonna get yelled at. We're not letting any more fighters do your stupid podcast.
Are you gonna get one of these?
Charlie's Churros.
All right, fine. You're gonna order that.
That churros is good. Churros is good too.
So with all your success, right? And you're soon going to be the new champ soon.
Yeah, you got to stop that. We're not going to get any more guests.
No, he will. He
put your Ramadanov on here at some point.
He's not getting on.
What are you talking about? You got to interview me and then interview my...
Yo, disrespectful.
I'm not going to lie.
He's Russian, so you ain't going to get much out of him. You know, he's just going to go, Khabib.
Hey.
Khabib, best coach. Best coach.
Is Khabib his coach for real?
Best coach Khabib. That's it. That's all you got to get. Yes.
Send to Dagestan for 3 months, brother.
Yes, brother. Khabib, best coach, brother.
Dude,
yes, brother.
I love that the Dagestanis adopted that brother. Like it's the funniest thing ever.
That's all you got to get for me. Khabib, best coach.
Hey, I'm not going to lie though. Like we got Louis Palomino next week, the bare knuckle champion. And we were trying to get El Gallo at one point, which is the guy he's going to fight. So I'm like, I'm not even opposed to having two guys fighting each other, you know? get both sides of the.
Yeah. But I like Godsey. He's a nice guy.
Yeah. Dude, everyone that fights MMA is pretty
that's
cool.
what he says. Khabib, best coach.
Yeah. that's all it is. Yeah, brother.
Khabib,
Yeah.
you just got a
brother.
clone
Yes, brother.
factory,
Khabib.
man.
I'm gonna.
Khabib,
yeah,
brother.
he gets wrecked.
Best
Yeah,
coach.
I win. Yeah, that's it. So
I
super.
win. I dominate. Khabib, brother. Yes.
Yeah, you have any?
I smash.
I smash.
That's Jemai.
Yeah.
He doesn't like Khabib, right?
Jemai doesn't like Khabib?
I smash.
Yeah.
I smash everybody.
He does, though.
But he's got a character. He's got a
Dude,
personality.
what he
Was
did
that,
to Rob Whitaker was disgusting.
I like Jemai. He's got a personality to him, you know.
No, he's great.
The rest of the Russians, they don't
Is that how you pronounce
Dude,
his name?
did you see that last fight of Chamea versus Rob Whitaker where he shot that like super low single, man? Like, what? The
He's a good
dude
wrestler.
glided
He's a good
along the
wrestler.
ground. It was ridiculous.
He's a great wrestler.
Yeah, you have any?
I would love to see Johnny fight him.
Dude,
Ooh.
I would love to see that too.
Johnny versus
Guys, man.
It sounds like Johnny might have
Ooh.
gotten an offer from PFL though,
Yeah. I think he's gonna be fighting
because
soon.
he sounded like he wanted to take the Pitbull way out, but now he's got to fight. So,
Yeah, I think he's gonna. I would love to see him against Dricus.
dude, he would kill
Oh,
Dricus.
I think,
But
so
I don't
too.
know. I think Dricus is
but
going to lose
listen,
every
I
time.
think everybody kills Dricus. But the thing is he's so
dude.
bad that he's good.
Dude, how did Dricus beat Izzy?
He's like no. But I explain like when you're up against someone that does everything wrong,
You don't know what to do.
but as like then it's
Oh,
awkward.
you make a good point.
It's
Yeah.
awkward. You don't
Yeah.
know how to deal with it. And then you're in this conundrum of like, is it wrong? He's winning. But right.
Well, dude, there's like UFC's got like 3 of those
Bro,
right now.
He runs at you with his head like, like swinging like a just put you out.
Dude.
Takes you back and sleeps you like
Patty Pimblett,
Patty Pimblett.
Juliana Pena.
Yeah.
They're all like they're all DDP-ish.
Julia
Like-
Pena for sure, but like,
They shouldn't be winning, but they're winning.
Her first fight against Amanda Nunes, she should otherwise she's getting beat and they don't.
Dude,
This is a
To take
Yeah,
the thing out of the way.
yeah, you could do so.
Do you want to take it with you? Or?
I'm okay, thank you.
I think he's gonna want the churros
He was.
Yeah.
Hey, could you get me
and the translate.
it's definitely that's all him.
That's not.
Can I get
It's okay. Once it comes out, I'm sure everyone's gonna eat it.
can I put in
I'm training later.
steak fajitas to go?
So we have the molcajetes. That's okay. It comes with like onions and peppers, a rojo salsa.
It's delicious.
It's really good. But you want just steak?
Yeah, steak fajita, whatever it is. But to go, I'm gonna get that.
Because it usually comes with steak, chicken, and chorizo, but we can do just steak.
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
I keep thinking I'm scooting this in. They're so heavy. They're not. So I have 2 last final questions. Any exes, toxic exes, hitting you up now that you found some success? Hey, I miss you. Shall we get back together? Or any?
No.
No?
I don't talk to exes. You know, I don't talk to them. I try and get rid of them, you know? Like
What did you put in your mouth? What did you put in your mouth?
Don't worry about it. It's every episode.
What is that, a Zin?
Yeah, I had to.
See? You're the odd man out,
Give
buddy.
him one. He lost his.
I just had the last one.
Oh, mine's in my car.
My bad, man.
Be a
I
good
think I
friend
left one
and
of
take it out of your mouth.
You're right. Yeah.
I saw King Jones actually here in that video. Look, I was a mint. Spit a mint in their mouth and then like spat it across the room.
Dude, I saw the nastiest thing of my life. Because there's a joke about the urinal Zins when you're in a urinal and you're drunk and you put the Zin in there. Some
Oh,
guy
no.
took the Zin out of the urinal.
Don't even finish that.
No, I probably shouldn't have that in this episode, right?
But crazy exes, man. I had some crazy ones, but no, I don't talk to them.
Any stories? Any crazy stories?
Crazy stories that are PG? Probably no.
Wow.
We're sorry, Rocco.
Yeah. Maybe on a different episode.
I mean, dude, we can't get more.
I won. This one was crazy, right? She would play these crazy games.
Say her Instagram handle.
I don't even know it, bro. I don't even know her
Don't
Instagram
put her
handle.
on like that.
I don't even know her Instagram handle. Now she's dating. Long story short, we broke up. She called my cousin. My cousin's crazy. Right? He's very, very deep in gang world, right?
Okay.
He winds up in jail for life.
Oof.
Oh my god.
Oh God.
Gets rewritten. Found out that she set him up. He gets let out of jail. She's in jail for life.
No.
I look at the stories of what happened in between.
Oh
I said,
my gosh.
Now she's in jail for life.
He played
My
that
cousin alone.
the Uno reverse card.
Big Uno reverse card. That's wild.
Yeah, that's beyond crazy.
Let me tell you something. I would never go to jail over a girl.
That's a lie.
I would even for anybody.
My child.
Listen, I know this.
Yeah,
I know this guy too well.
You know
You would
what,
go to
like,
jail over a woman.
Cain Velasquez.
But I'll know.
That's a little different.
Yeah, but that's a man. That's a man right there.
Hobby. On a
Easy.
hobby.
Easy.
I wouldn't even second think that.
He did nothing wrong. No, nothing wrong. And-
The thing he did wrong was shoot at a moving vehicle.
I mean, yeah.
And it was a car chase on the freeway.
Yeah,
The window.
you could hit
He could have
anybody.
hit anybody.
I
That could have went anywhere, you know.
I get it,
Thank you.
but still, like as a parent, he did the right thing.
Yeah.
Well,
he didn't even get
but-
the guy. He shot the friends.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's the problem. You know, he shot the friend.
That's the recklessness of the
Yeah.
situation.
You know what? Why would you be friends with a person like that? That's what you got shot.
So let me. I
probably
No, he
involved,
did.
you know.
had one left
Yeah,
field
for sure.
question because you are Kiwi.
Yes.
Do you feel like you guys are like tougher, man? Do you feel like your chin is crazy? Like, have you ever been knocked out?
I think Maoris are definitely built different. You know, it's different. Like, we hit harder. We can get hit
Bro,
harder.
That's 100% true.
And even
Yo,
Ox,
for real,
and
That's
though.
even
100% true.
And even Ox Izzy.
We should play.
Izzy's fought a lot of people, and he says, like, Maoris are the toughest.
Yeah,
You can hit them hard as you want. They keep
No, but
coming.
like,
Look at Robbie Whitaker.
yeah. It's
Well,
no
what
joke.
the-
I've never seen like any kind of Samoan or Maori guy that comes in and like they're not tough.
Who was the one that knocked
I don't know. It's
out
like a
Mark
DNA.
Hunt? He hit
He got
Hunt
knocked
hard.
out by Junior Santos. So
Yeah.
yeah. Back kick.
That doesn't count. That was a kick.
Yeah, but it also
back.
sucked.
I mean,
It sucked because to me it was like, man, Mark's taking so many hits. It was just a matter of
Probably
time.
the best fight ever was him versus Ray Sefo. You saw that one?
Yeah,
But
that
they
fight was
just-
crazy.
They just stood in front K1. Oh, they just stood,
yes,
They
yes.
just stood in front of each other, hands down.
Yep.
Boom, 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 hands down, both of them. Ray Sefo was just tucking his chin. Doodle eats like 5 shots,
Yep.
smiles, gives it back to him.
Dude, that and
And then Mark Hunt puts his hand down, eats 5 shots, gives it back to him.
like,
And
yo,
they just go, they literally just hands down smiling, each other laughing, just go, bah, bah, like heavy shots.
Who do you think are?
but
Go.
dude,
You have one in the
well,
chamber.
no,
go.
I was going to say, like, a lot of people say that, you know, in 2006 when Forrest Griffin and Stephen Bonner fought, that's like the thing to put MMA on the map. But I'm like, dude, if you showed anybody that fight, or if you showed anybody Don Fry versus Takaya and
Oh my
Pride,
god!
like, how can you not love the sport?
But what about when Mark Hunt, Powerbomb was a Rampage?
Did he power on Rampage?
I can't remember who.
Man, I'm such a Pride fanboy too. I should know
He
this.
jumped up and grabbed his legs and powerbombed it, like jumped out of his ass.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Oh yes.
I think it
Who
was
was that?
Rampage, wasn't it?
Did Rampage fight Mark Hunt?
Because Rampage will go up and wave.
Back then there was no weight classes. You fight
There
anybody.
was, but in Pride they didn't care.
No, it was anybody.
They had the open
Malvin
weight.
Manhoff knocked out Mark Hunt, though.
Yeah, Melvin Manhoff, man, that was another.
But
Like,
Malvin Manhoff was a crazy. He come out with his
Beast.
dog collar on.
yeah, you were, dude. He was
chained up, and
scary,
he's just like, oh.
and he was like a Kevin Randleman, man. Like he was so explosive.
And he just run at you. And then who's the other guy? What's that?
Do you prefer to have like beef with somebody that you're fighting, or it doesn't matter?
For me, and
No,
I'm
no.
emotionless when I fight. You know, there's no.
That's the best way to be.
Yeah, but I'm trying to kill the guy, but I'm very, very controlled, you know? If the guy wants beef, like my problem is I'm gonna attack him in the hotel room. Like there was a guy that was talking crap about me years ago online, right? And he's fighting Alfie Davis, right? Alfie Davis, we were meant to fight, and he was posting up all these photos and talking trash
It's
about me
garbage.
online. I didn't respond. I said, man, when I see this guy, I'm like in the hotel room, you know? And we're fighting on the same card. I haven't seen him since, right? So I walk in there, And I finally see him, but I go right up to him. I get in his face. I'm like, hey, you want to talk? No, talk now.
No, I was just kidding.
And he's like, oh, no, it was just friendly banter. Friendly banter? Oh, you want to talk about me? You know, I was like, ugh. I wasn't saying, you know, I was saying some more vulgar words, you know what I mean? But I was like, I'm going to smash you. Well, I didn't say that, I said another word. But, you know, I got in his face and was like, he was just hit down, cow down.
One of these, like, we're good.
And then, no, I didn't shake his hand. And then the Bellator guys came over, you know, and they're like, hey, calm down. I go, and then I, you know, said some more stuff.
I'm surprised they don't just like go, yeah, do it, man. Because look what happened with Jorge Masvidal. The Leon Edwards thing, like that propelled him to another level.
Yeah, well, he didn't talk, right? Leon Edwards said something. He said, what'd you say? He just walked over. Masvidal was a gangster, you know? He just said, huh? What'd you say? He just went, he was just like this. And then he just walked over and just went too, bro.
No, that was crazy. That was crazy.
I'm good friends with Masvidal, too.
Yeah, Masvidal's awesome, man. But even the Diaz brothers, like, dude, they hated when that thing happened in Strikeforce where everyone stormed the cage. But they loved it. You know they loved it.
Bro, I love the Diaz brothers. Nick is one of the best.
He's OG, man.
You
know, even Nate's an OG. You know, they're all OGs, but without them, the sport wouldn't be where it is today.
Because Nick
had that go plata, dude.
Nick got so much praise.
The Diaz brothers, but without the Diaz brothers, the sport wouldn't be where it is today.
No, not at all.
Dude, I remember I
think about how many main events they did.
Yeah. Dude, Nick was a pioneer, man. He was back in the Pride days and stuff.
Twice.
Yep.
Dude, I met Nick. I went to like a signing that he was doing in Doral. This is like almost like 10 years ago. And I go there with my wife and we're waiting in line. And I'm just so excited. And she's like, this isn't normal for a guy to be this excited over another guy. I was like, relax. So we're in line and then she goes to meet him first, and he just checks out her rack. And I'm like, it's all right.
Come on, Rick. We're going to have to leave this whole episode, man.
It's all right. What am I going to tell Nick? Anyways, don't look at her, please.
No, I met both of them a couple times. You know?
Bro, and his fist, it's humongous.
They're funny when they walk into the locker room. It's like, because we're fighting, you guys are fighting. Now they're walking like this, you know? Getting in the sky, just like... looking down on him.
And dude, you see their kid pictures and it's the same thing.
They literally just walk in like. I'm like, man, I'm a big fan. But they're really nice guys. Once you start talking to them, you know. But
they're like the nicest
cool,
guys, man.
Really nice guys when you talk to them.
Oh, this is all for Ricky. That's crazy.
Oh my goodness. JJ,
the fact that he was able to stick to. Oh my goodness.
This one's good.
They're both delicious.
Oh wow. Why would you order this?
Dude, I got a Zin in. That's all you, dude. I got a Zin in. I can't eat it.
You ordered twice. You ordered 2 meals for yourself. And he said it was his.
Rocco, this was Dan and JJ that ordered this. Oh, this is the biggest.
I had pizza last night.
This is the biggest.
JJ, do us a favor, man. Please don't lose your next fight, because when we interviewed Grant, he was cutting and we had him eat and then he lost. He's doing great now. We're happy for him.
Robbie Green?
Yeah.
We think it was the picanha that did it, but you know,
bro,
we're just trying to help.
That's serious.
Tracer, this is the best.
How are we going to drive home after all this?
Well, I have.
I'm not even worried about the alcohol. I'm worried about the food.
I have strength and conditioning, so.
Yeah, but I think that was. Hold on. Yeah, that's it. I think because you answered this before.
I'm gonna be a slob and just grab a churro.
What's that?
Dude, the Blue Angels have flown over like 8 times already.
Saw, yeah. Oh, this is so good. Is that ice cream?
Yeah.
There's ice cream on the churros too, man. That's all you.
This is all you because I'm done. I have more.
How do you have self-control? What is that? What's self-control?
My thing is I know I have to do strength and conditioning. If I keep eating, I'm going to throw up.
Oh, speaking of throwing up.
Have you thrown up when training?
Never in my life.
Because I never did either. Like, I feel horrible, but I've never thrown up. I'm always like, man, what is that? What does that feel like?
I've thrown up, but I never in training. But I've gotten like pneumonia.
From training? Damn, man.
Yeah, overtraining.
Yeah. That's a real thing.
Yeah,
It's a real
overtraining.
thing.
I got pneumonia and I was bedridden for like 2-3 weeks.
Man. When you were preparing for a fight too?
Yeah, I fought the next week.
Man, that's nuts.
Yeah, I had pneumonia and then I fought. Like, I still was still messed up.
It's free weight cutting though, right?
When I was kickboxing, man, every fight went the distance. So hard to knock someone. I was a kid, 16.
Yeah.
Every single fight will go the distance, bro. In kickboxing, man, you can't walk after you fight, man.
No.
It's like, you get carried out of the arena because all you do is you stand in front of each other, you just kick and punch each other. You can't do nothing else. You know what I mean? So you kick, you first try to he checks a kick. What are you going to do? Not kick him again?
No, you got to.
It's kickboxing. If you don't kick, you lose.
And you
know what I mean?
can't even let them know. You can't even let them know, hey, I'm hurting. Like,
So you
You have to
kick,
hit him right
he
up.
checks it. Guess what you do again? You kick the same thing. Boom, boom. So after the fights, I could never walk, man. Like every
God,
time I'll
dude.
be in the back seat, someone else will be driving. My feet will be out the window, and I'll be on my back feet out the window. Like I could have walked for like 2, and I lived in the attic, so it was like
Oh, yeah.
there was no staircase. It was a ladder.
Oh,
You know what I mean? So I'm getting up this ladder, but I couldn't even move my ankles. My shins are hurting. I'm like climbing up the ladder. Like, it take me 10 minutes to get up the ladder, bro. And then eventually what we did is we got this pad, this big ass pad, and I just like moved it. And I would just jump off the fucking attic, bro. I just jump over and land on my back onto the crash pad, you know?
oh, man.
Because it was like the mats were here. The attic was up here. I would put the crash pad there, like before I went up the ladder, then I like juggled to get up, and then this morning I just jump off it.
And then you still had to train. Thank you.
Yeah, I still had to train.
Well, you ready for pro wrestling, man?
Yeah, I don't know what
Follow the King Mo method, man.
I don't know what I was doing back then, man. I was just like eating ramen noodles and fighting.
Hey, people don't understand, man. People don't understand how hard that is. Like, dude, when you're training to fight, like you're not just eating like a regular person. You're eating like a machine,
Well, now
right? But to do that
it's
without
different.
that,
Now it's different, right? Because I
Yeah.
had the means to do it correctly.
yeah. But
When I
dude,
started, bro,
waking up a
was-
day after ramen noodles and killing yourself for a whole day, that's insanity.
Well, with ramen noodles, eggs, and fruit if I was lucky, you know? And then, like, you know what I'll do? I'll train you in, I'll be like, oh, yeah, like, we guys gotta go eat. And they're like, oh, we gotta go eat here. I was like, oh, yeah, that'll be cool. They're like, oh, you wanna come? I say, oh, yeah, but, I don't got no money. You know? And they're like, it's okay, I got you. And, like,
nice.
So, anyone
But
got a
that was
media
me.
day?
That was me every day, like, hustling to see, oh, we guys gonna go for dinner. You know? Like, you guys gonna go home, or what are you guys doing?
Hey, it worked out though, man. You're on the way up.
I don't think we should do the jelly beans.
I'm good on passing on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw up.
Yes, another episode where Ricky didn't do the jelly beans. I love it.
I overate.
Did he even tell you what the flavors of those jelly beans were? It's disgusting. So like used Band-Aid.
It's bad. They're bad.
The fact
Remember
that
the video I sent you of the kids throwing up?
I feel like you should do it right now.
No,
Yeah,
I did
you
it with
can
my
do it.
I did it with my
No,
son. It was
just
fun.
just right now.
I won't do that. I
Take
won't
a
do
shot of Tres Leches.
I
And,
won't do that to I won't do that to Rocco and ruin his fancy desk. I mean table.
yeah. Blame Rocco, man. Blame Rocco.
Dude, this is so
I love Shisha. So good.
this is better than the Hispanic one. Than the
What does that even mean?
it's not a spongy.
Because this is
So
Hispanic.
Whoever made it is not Hispanic.
What is it? Italian tacos?
No, this is Mexican, by the way. Like the
That's not Hispanic.
like where I'm from Venezuela, the tres leche is not that spongy.
Right.
This one is more cakish. It tastes better.
But I love the Shisha.
Yeah, this one tastes way better.
Whenever I can eat bad, I go to Rocco's to get Tres Leche.
Yeah, this is.
That's like I say, get something. I say, get the Tres Leche.
Oh man,
Churros are good too, but like Tres Leche, you can't beat it.
I can't even breathe.
Yes.
Well, yo,
What did you want?
JJ, this is it's been awesome, man. You got a great story. You're a fun guy to watch fight, man. Thank you so much for like taking the time to come sit with us, share some Roccos with us.
No, thank you guys for having me.
Anything you want to plug? Where can the people find you on social media?
All my social media is the Maori Kid. You know, so if you guys want to follow me, just go on Instagram. It's the Maori Kid, and yeah,
Who gave you that nickname?
So that nickname came from actually my first manager. I came over as a kid, right? And I was running around doing kind of big me, what I'm doing right now, right? Like I was doing that back then. It was so they're like, oh, and then I had like a little baby face, and I was 20, fighting pro. And then they're like, oh, you should be the Maori Kid. I was like, I like that.
Done.
Stuck. Yeah, but I'm getting older, you know what I mean? They must still call me the Maori Kid. I'm like,
it works though. Remember Kid Yamamoto?
Yeah.
That dude was like 40. He was still a kid.
So that's probably going to be me. I got to be 40. He's going to be the Maori Kid. I was like, oh, that was my nickname when I was 20.
Just don't fall off, man. Keep looking young.
We got to take a picture of the three of us.
Yeah.
I'm going to stand behind both of you.
Finish all this first. But yeah, thank you, JJ. This was a great episode, man. We appreciate your time. Thank you, man.
Thank you guys, man. Thank you,
Good
guys.
man, JJ.